Hey, what's going on, y'all? This your man Pristine back with another video. Welcome to the Pristine review for the Asus Zenfone Max Plus M1. Alright, now, you guys already know the order of business, so without further ado, let's get into this thing. Now, first off, I'd like to talk about price and specs. So this phone is priced at $229.99. With taxes, I believe it came up to like $252.89 or something like that, which isn't bad for what you're getting for this device. I mean, you're getting a lot of phone at a very, very, very affordable cost. And I know that's a lot of what people want. You know what I mean? You no longer have to spend $1,000 to get a really, really good smartphone experience. And this is another exhibition of that. This is another example of that right there. Now, as far as the specs are concerned, we've got a 5.7-inch Full HD plus 18:9 aspect ratio panel. Okay, this is Asus's first device that houses the 18:9 aspect ratio, and I'm a huge fan of that. I mean, just the smaller footprint with a bigger screen. This phone is the same size as a phone that has a 5.2-inch display, so it fits very comfortably in the hand, but you still got a lot of screen real estate to work with. Okay, so full 1080p by 2160 pixels, full vision, HD plus display. We've got 3 gigs of RAM on board, 32 gigs of onboard storage, which memory can be expanded up to 256 gigs. We've got Android 7.0 Nougat fresh out of the box. We've got, under the hood, we've got a MediaTek MT675 OT. It's an octa-core processor, and the GPU is a Mali T860 MP2. All right, so that's what we've currently got under the hood. I'll talk a little bit about that a little later in the video. Not that that's a bad thing, but I guess I kind of question why Asus decided to go with this particular processor. Typically, they roll with Snapdragon processors, and I'm not in any way, shape, or form trying to imply that Snapdragon processors are better than MediaTek processors. And, you know, for all you out there that aren't really familiar with MediaTek, or you feel like MediaTek is, you know, a dumbed down processor, they actually have some really, really good processors. I just find that the MediaTek devices that I've had, I feel like the devices that have had Snapdragon processors in them perform just a tad bit better. You know what I mean? And I also kind of feel that this phone would perform a tad bit better if there was a Snapdragon processor in it as well. Not that it's a bad processor, but I kind of noticed like lagginess, little glitches here and there. I mean, nothing, the phone hasn't like frozen up or anything, but you'll notice like when you're doing things, scrolling through apps or, you know, scrolling through your transitions, I mean, there's little hiccups. Opening apps, I mean, you know, they seem to take a little longer than usual. Just little things like that, you know what I mean, that are very noticeable. But not to say that the experience is bad at all, but it's like, you know, when you're used to rocking with devices that are just snappy, you know, as soon as you touch an app, it opens up, you know, there's no glitches or no lag, or if there is, then it's very minimal. You know, on here, it seems to be a little bit more noticeable, you know, in my personal experience. Now, I know that that's something that Asus can probably address with an update. But just with my overall usage of this device within the last week and a half or 2 weeks, I've noticed a lot of that. Now, it didn't stop me from doing anything on the device, but the glitchiness and the choppiness and the lag, a lot of times things didn't go smoothly as they would on other devices. So definitely, you know, be mindful of that. And that's just my experience. It's not to say that anybody else that picks up this device will have that same experience. Different people have different experiences with different devices. I mean, so somebody may have this phone and their experience may be buttery smooth with everything that they do. Wish that was my experience, but it has not been. But we'll see what, you know, moving forward, what Asus decides to do with pushing out updates and things of that nature. So that's what we've got under the hood. $229.99 is the price point. Now, build quality. I mean, the build quality, we've got a full unibody display. Okay. The build quality is absolutely superb. I mean, definitely you got a premium built device here. You've got aluminum on the back and around the sides and the front, top and bottom. And then I believe that this is plastic here on the bottom and the top where the antenna lines are, so that it can pick up those frequencies. You know, we've got very durable glass, 2.5D curved glass on the front. I'm not sure if it's Gorilla Glass. If it is, it's unspecified as to which type it is. I know it's not Corning Gorilla Glass 5. It may be like, 3 or something like that if it is Corning Gorilla Glass. But nonetheless, I mean, the phone is built extremely durable. But as I always mention, you always want to protect your investment. Get a case, get a screen protector. If I pay $50 for a phone, it's going in a case and a screen protector just because I respect the tech. I'm not going to treat something as though it's less than just because it was inexpensive. It still was purchased with my hard-earned cash, whether it was $1,000 that I spent or $100 that I spent. I'm going to protect the devices the exact same way. So I urge you to do that. Protect your investment. That's the best way that I can, the best advice that I can give you to really get some longevity out of your device. All right. So the build quality, stellar. I've got absolutely no complaints with the build quality at all whatsoever. It feels really good in the hand. As you can see, the phone, it has that curve, that curves around the edges up to the top of the device, which is really good for holding the device. And as I mentioned, I mean, this is a 5.7-inch display, but it's in a 5.2-inch footprint. I mean, so gripping this phone is effortless. And I have really small hands. I mean, so for people that have small hands like me, you're not going to have a problem navigating through this device. And also with how it's rounded around the edges. And I like the fact that too, the screen, it's rounded around the edge as well, just to kind of match the rounded edges on the exterior of the device. I'm a big fan of that look and definitely a big fan of the way that this device feels. I mean, so big thumbs up, for the build quality, in my personal opinion. Now, performance, as I just really touched on, you'll see scrolling through apps, they're a breeze. I mean, like I said, a lot of the choppiness and the glitchiness that I've noticed, it doesn't take place all the time. But I notice a lot of times, like when you start going into applications and stuff like that, then that's when you start to notice those things. And so, RAM management here, I mean, the phone still seems to do really well. I mean, when you got tons of apps open, as you can see, just scrolling through a lot of this stuff. Now let's see. Let's go back into Play Movies. Just pops right back into Play Movies. Spotify. Hops right back into Spotify. Amazon there. Yeah, in no way, shape, or form was I saying that the phone doesn't perform. I mean, I just noticed a lot of the little glitchiness and choppiness that takes place from time to time. And, when you're not used to seeing that on other devices and then you see it here, it's just kind of like, whoa, I mean, that's something that probably should be addressed. And so I'm sure I'm not the only one that's experienced that. And so maybe it's something that Asus is fond of right now and they may be working on an update. I just got an update on the device and it said it's going to increase stability. I mean, so maybe that will be, an update to kind of fix a lot of that glitchiness and choppiness that I've experienced. But overall, I mean, as you can see, would have to reload eBay right there, but that didn't take too long at all. And I am connected to my Wi-Fi network at home, so speed, network speeds and things may be a little different, if you're running the phone off of LTE. I have my T-Mobile SIM card in here, and yeah, I mean, things work just fine. I mean, there were no problems. The phone supports voice over LTE, which is solid. So going to Gmail. Okay, so you see it takes a second for Gmail to load back up there, but nonetheless, that's not a big problem. Scroll up to get to your apps. Okay, and then you see I've got that carousel transition effect, which I'm a huge fan of that. But things appear to be pretty effortless. So like I said, I mean, the choppiness and the glitchiness that I experienced, it's not something that you pick up all the time, but I've noticed it. I've noticed it enough for it to catch my attention. You know what I mean? And all phones, they have a little bit of lag from time to time or a little stutter or a little hiccup here and there. This is technology that we're talking about, and they all don't perform flawlessly. They all have little hiccups from time to time. But I just feel like I've noticed it more so on this device than any other device that I've had. But in no way, shape, or form am I saying that the device is bad at all whatsoever. I mean, as you guys just saw me navigating through the device, opening applications, doing little things. It does the job for sure. It definitely does the job. What is this? 229 smartphone just launched in the U.S. government doesn't think you should. Oh man, this is that page that the U.S. government posted up last week when that Huawei Mate SE came out. Much love on that video too, man. I appreciate all the love and support that I've been getting for that video, man. That video is almost at like 10,000 views right now, so. Man, I appreciate it, you guys, for sure. Now, the cameras, oh my God. The cameras on this device are absolutely phenomenal. absolutely phenomenal, man. You're talking about flagship caliber cameras on this device. Now, I'm not going to go too much in the camera, not too much in depth, because there's a separate dedicated camera video that I did for this device. So if you want to know more about this camera, make sure you check out that video. It's called the Asus Zenfone M1 Max. Oh, wait. The Asus Zenfone Max Plus M1 / the camera. You know, I keep it very simple. But going to that, there's video footage of both the front and the back camera. There's still shots, selfies. You know, again, we've got an 8 megapixel front-facing selfie camera right there. On the back of the device, we've got the dual camera setup, primary 16 megapixel sensor, and then we've got an 8 megapixel wide-angle lens that has a 120-degree wide-angle field of view. And so, yeah, I mean, watch that video, y'all. The cameras are absolutely mind-blowing on this device. And, you know, for the $229.99 price tag, I can't say that there's a better camera that's out right now in that particular price range. This camera is destroying a lot of cameras on phones that are way more expensive than this camera. That's how good this camera is, and that's no exaggeration. You know, as I mentioned in previous Asus videos, I don't really think that Asus gets the credit that they deserve for the cameras that they put out in these phones, man. I mean, and I know for a fact that DSLRs are losing money. They're taking some hits to the pocketbook, man, because the cameras on these smartphones just keep getting better and better, and they're going to continue to get better and better. And so I just wonder at some point if DSLRs and cameras like that may be obsolete someday. You know what I mean? That would not surprise me how good the technology on these devices are getting. All right. Now, battery life. This is another area where this phone shines, because in this particular device, we've got a big 4,130 milliamp hour battery. All right. 4,130 milliamps. You're talking about 2.5, maybe 3 days of battery usage on one charge, depending on usage. Now, you know, screen on time and all that type of stuff, you know, that's all going to be dependent on how you use your device. Okay, but if you're a light or moderate user like myself, man, there's been some times where I didn't have to charge this phone for 3 days. And if it's just on standby, oh man, longer than that. You know, I mean, the battery is ridiculous, man. Now, it doesn't support fast charging or anything like that. I wish that that Asus would have adopted Type-C technology on this particular device, but for whatever reason they did not. We've got micro USB, and so charging this device is going to run you about 2.5, maybe like 2.5 hours from 0 to 100. Okay, which still isn't bad for the amount of battery life that you're getting. Even if you're a heavy user, you're not going to kill this battery anytime soon. Okay, 4,130 milliamps. Yeah, this may be the new battery champion right here. This battery has some serious, and I mean serious, staying power. You know what I'm saying? Man, get your Barry White on. I got, staying power. That's what this battery is singing to y'all, man. Staying power. You know what I'm saying? This battery will last and last and last and last. All right? So again, that's another area where this phone definitely shines, is battery life. All right? Now, additional features, I like the fact that we've got the double tap to sleep, double tap to wake. We do have facial recognition. Let me see if I can get that to pop up. Let me see. Oh, I'm not holding at the right angle, but we do have facial recognition on board. Just trying to get at the right angle on camera so you guys can see that. But I've found that the facial recognition on this device, it's a little spotty. Yeah, it's just not reading my face because the camera is right in front of my face. And, you know, I'm shooting this video with the Xiaomi Redmi 5 Plus. I mean, so you guys stay tuned because I've got the full review and the camera video coming for that as well. But, you know, after so many attempts of trying to read your face and it not recognizing it, then you have to enter your PIN code in. Or you can hit your fingerprint. Oh, well, when it does that, then you can't even enter your fingerprint. So you have to enter your PIN code. Okay, so now we're back in. All right, I do like the fingerprint placement, you know, it being on the back where it ought to be, right where the index finger typically lies. Fingerprint sensor, you see that? I mean, it works 100% of the time, but it's not like super fast. You really have to, you know, you got to lay your finger on it. Now you see that now it didn't open up. So I find that the fingerprint sensor, it can be a little inconsistent, and it takes a little longer, for it to open up, as opposed to like a Huawei or an Honor. The OnePlus devices, man, they blow past this fingerprint sensor on this Asus device by leaps and bounds, man. But it definitely works. There are no gestures as far as being able to like pull down your notification shade or anything, or scroll through pictures, with the fingerprint sensor. I mean, it's just simply there just to, as another source of or form of security to unlock your device. But you see that it does work. It just takes a little bit longer. But I like the double tap feature. I mean, there are other gestures, when the phone is ringing, you can turn the phone on its face and lay it down. The silence will ring. If an alarm's going off, you can put it down to silence an alarm. Little things like that. Like I said, we do have facial recognition. Having the dual wide angle lens camera, I mean, that's a plus. We're running Zen UI 4.0, which I'm a fan of 4.0, Zen UI, period. I mean, there's always a lot of things that you can customize, different transition effects and things of that nature. They really give you the ability to really customize your device and make it look the way you really want it to look, and just really personalize it. And I'm a big fan of that, man. I don't like having the same things that everybody has look in the same exact way that a lot of people have. I mean, if you definitely want to be different, this device is definitely one of the ways to go, because I don't think that you're going to run into a lot of people here in the U.S. that are going to have this particular device. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that Asus doesn't have a big U.S. presence, because they do. But it's funny, a lot of times I talk to people about these devices, and they haven't even heard of them before. And so it's like, unless you're like in the tech world or tech community, then maybe this phone will be an option, or maybe, you get turned on to it somehow. But overall, I mean, it's a good choice. But yeah, my final thoughts on this particular device, I say it's a go. I mean, for the price, you're getting a lot of bang for your buck. Definitely a lot of value here going for this particular device, especially for the price tag of $229.99, $230 plus tax. Again, you're getting a lot of phone. You're getting a very, very good, very solid built, premium feeling device that feels really good in the hand. You're getting that big 5.7-inch display on a 5.2-inch footprint. I mean, so definitely handling the device is not going to be too cumbersome. You're getting those excellent cameras. You're getting a beautiful Full HD Plus panel. Okay, you're getting a huge 4,130 milliamp-hour battery that's going to last and last and last. Let's see, do we have, we got a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. I mean, so that is present, for all of you that like to plug in, you definitely have that going for you. You got fingerprint sensor, facial recognition, awesome cameras. I mean, solid performance. Like I said, I mean, the performance, it's not buttery smooth all the time. Sometimes it is buttery smooth, but then other times I find it to be a little glitchy, a little choppy from time to time, but it's not a consistent thing, but it is something that I noticed, and I'm pretty sure that this is something that Asus will address with future updates moving down the line. So, can I recommend this phone? Absolutely. Absolutely. There's way more pros than there is cons with going with this particular option. So, that's all I got, ladies and gentlemen, for the Asus Zenfone Max Plus M1. You already know, if you like this video, please smash that thumbs up button. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to expose yourself to tons of more videos that I've done with this one. And be sure to stay tuned, because I've got so much more content to come. Be sure to hit that notification bell so that you can be one of the first to witness my videos whenever I upload something. And you can be the first to, give me your feedback. Let me know if you dislike the video, whatever. I'm open to any kind of feedback, criticisms. I've learned so much by doing this channel and just interacting with all you guys, man. And I appreciate the love, the feedback, the hate, the criticism. Man, I'm not a sensitive guy. I mean, so if you got some, if you're critical of my work, talk to me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm always looking for ways that I can improve. You know what I mean? I'm definitely not on some, I got this whole thing figured out and I can't, like I've reached the ceiling. There's no ceilings with this thing. I can always improve. And so you guys' feedback really helps with that process. So again, this is the Asus Zenfone Max Plus M1. I'm your man, Pristine, bringing you the content. And I'm going to close the video out how I always close the video out. Definitely stay safe, get spiritually fit, because we're definitely living in the last days. All right? Keep it pristine and all that you do. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.